Ladies and gentlemen, what's going on? Dylan Lobestall here, back with another YouTube video. It's been a couple months since I uploaded like a first-person video. I think the last one I did was just some clips from driving Polecat back in October. So I wanted to sit down, film a video, kind of going over the 2024 year, some garage updates, and the 2025 year plans or our goals. And I wanted to make this kind of to hold myself accountable, because if I say it on here, maybe if I work towards my YouTube videos and I say it on here, maybe I'll follow through and do more of them. So most of you guys are familiar with this car. This is my 2002 BMW 330 Ci with a turbo M52 swap. It's got a built M52 iron block with CP pistons, Molnar rods, a damper, cams, valve springs, valves, everything you can kind of think of. Garrett G30 900 turbo, Treadstone intercooler, pretty much, built, I guess, stage 5, bro. Stage 5000. It's been super awesome. So I think we did about 10 or 12 events with it this year, or maybe no. I think I drove my white car a few 4 or 5 events. So I probably did 6 or 7 events with this car this year. First event was Drift Indy Street Week Volume 1 back in I think April or May. That's where we kind of tested out the car. It's fantastic. Didn't really have any issues with it there. I drove it at Grid Life Midwest, which was a good time. 4th gear, 100 mile an hour entries was pretty nuts. I haven't driven Gingerman since 2018, so it was kind of a refresher 6 years later. But this is the perfect car for it. We drove Drift Indy Street League Volume 2 up at US Air in Wisconsin, and the car had an issue with one of the cam cap studs failing on the cylinder head, and it actually broke the exhaust camshaft. So it snapped the lobe off of cylinder 6 for the exhaust camshaft, and luckily we were able to source a new cam from my buddy Sam. Thank you very much. He had all the timing tools, everything like that. Got them delivered to the track by one of our friends, friends, and we got it sorted. And I think I fixed the car, timed it, started up 10 minutes before qualifying, went out, qualified 10th, and I think we got into top 16. But after that, drove the car a few more events. I think I did pretty well at Drift Indy Street League Volume 3, and then I took it to a few fun days and did some demos, stuff like that with it. Had a really good time. Overall, it was a great year. It was fantastic. You start every year and you're like, I'm not going to drive, low key year. And then the bug gets to you and you drive a ton. And that's what I always end up doing. So just want to say thank you to all my partners, all my sponsors that helped with the car. If it wasn't for you guys, the car wouldn't be here. So another thing we did this year was we put on a set of Silver's 2-way coilovers. I really like those. They're fantastic. Being able to adjust rebound and compression independently at tracks like Gingerman was awesome. Like adding side bite when we needed it, coming into like turn 1's 100 miles an hour. So if you want to add side bite, off throttle side bite, adding that helped a lot. What else? I didn't write any of this down, so I'm just off a whim. I'm just talking about it. Fantastic. Corey over at Fresh Produce did all the fab work on it with the new turbo setup, so that's super solid. Brennan Greaves did the tuning. Seems Legit Garage did all the I have their drive shaft, I have their dual caliper kit, the 488 in the back, which is indestructible. So I forgot to say, the car made like 500 wheel, and we bumped it up at the end of the year. It made 500 wheel at 17 pounds. I have a YouTube video about it, and at the end of the year we bumped it up to like 22 pounds. So whatever it makes now, 500, 550, it's pretty rowdy. So having the 8.8 in the back and those axles is awesome, because you can be a dumbass and beat on the car like mercilessly and have no issues. So on to the next thing. I made a few videos about it. I had a white E46 CHP that I put together as like a seat time build, and we ended up selling it but just about a month or two ago, and we sold it to the dudes over at Seems Legit Garage right there. So the dudes over at Seems Legit bought it from me, and it is their first drift car. So they're gonna put a bunch of their goodies on it and learn how to drift. They've been making parts for, I don't know, 5 or 6 years now, and they've never gotten seat time. So it's really cool to see them go out to the track. We just went to a track last month, or maybe early this month, and we did a day with them, sat in the car with them, kind of taught them how to drive it a little bit. It looks easy in a car like this that makes 500 horsepower, but when you're in a 200 horsepower stock car, it can take some effort. So getting to sit down with them and teach them how to drive the car that I'm familiar with was really cool. But kind of a bummer to sell that car. I had it since 2020, and but on to bigger and better things, I guess. I'll kind of talk about that a little bit more. Overall, great year, very busy, and I'm sure 2025 is going to be busy as well. Lauren and I are expecting, or my wife and I got married. Ring ding ding. My wife and I are expecting another child in April. It's a boy, so that's super exciting. So we got 5 months to prepare for that. So here I am juggling drifting in the garage and my daughter right now, Eleanor, and then we're gonna have another one. So how did I almost forget about that? Life is crazy busy. I guess that was a big part of 2024 too, getting married. So that was in September. Yeah, let me pause this and think of some more stuff to say. Well, I want to talk about 2025 plans with this car and my goals for next year. This car's kind of beat up now. I shouldn't say beat up because there's a lot more cars out there that are kind of hammered, but I take a lot of pride in having my cars together in one piece and looking decent. So this off season, it needs new bumpers, new side skirts, new doors, new lips. All that stuff needs to be bought, prepped, painted, and I want to do a new livery. So the livery on it, it's been on the car since 2023. I dig it a lot. The designer that did this no longer designs, so I guess we're gonna go with a new designer. If you guys can think of anyone, let me know. But I've been trying to reach out, see who would like to work with me on this. And hopefully most of the brands that are supporting me now are down for next year. So Silvers, SBI, Link, Turbo Smart, Fuel Lab, Snake Eater Performance, Nerve Tech, Fresh Produce, Seems Legit, Obert Car Care, and Perfect Balance. Hopefully everyone's on board for next year, so that'll help out a lot. PRI is in a couple weeks, so I'm gonna go there, chat a little bit, meet up with everyone, and see how that works out. So hopefully we'll get everything sprayed on the car, get the new livery on, and start out 2025 strong. I don't think the car needs anything drivetrain related. We just did an event with it in October. It was Polecat Training Center down in Tennessee, which is a crazy fun track, super fast, and tons of elevation change. And then we did another smaller event with Mid-Michigan Drift Club. So that was cool. And I almost forgot to mention, it's crazy how much stuff there is to talk about, and I've never filmed a video with me just talking like this. So 2025 Drift Indy Grand Prix, DIGP. So Drift Indy Street League is evolving a little bit. They've chosen some drivers out of the Street League roster and moved them up to the next level in the series. So it's going to be faster, more horsepower, better cars with more aggressive driving. It's more of a serious series. So still going to be limited to the 245 tire rule, which kind of evens the playing field. So if this car makes 500 horsepower, it doesn't matter because everyone's on the same tire or same tire width. So that's super exciting. They're going to take the show on the road, do kill care, do a few more tracks, and it'll be a bunch of badass drivers out there with faster cars than have been in the past, because in Street League, typically you can get in there with anything you want, as long as it looks cool and you drive well. So now it'll be cars that are faster and more competitive, and little things like fire suits mandatory, cage is mandatory, driving shoes, driving gloves, everything to make it more professional, more serious, and have a better time. Not that Street League wasn't a good time, but this is just the next level up, and I'm excited and proud to join that. So the car deservingly needs a refresh for that, coming out hard 2025, bro. But other thing we have to do 2025, you guys will see now, is I flip the camera. Bam! And this is my E92 335i that I'm going to be putting together as a daily drifter for 2025. Let me shut this garage door and we'll go from there. So here it is, my bone stock E92 335i. Or I shouldn't say bone stock, I put downpipes on it. So here it is. I sold the ZHP and I bought this thing. I actually bought this back in June of 2024 on Father's Day. Happy Father's Day to me. Kind of had some issues. It was fairly cheap. It was like $2,400 bucks. So how do you go wrong with a $2,400 335i? Well, I can tell you how you go wrong. It has a bunch of issues and you have to fix it. Yeah, that's what I did. I spent a bunch of time on it over like the span of like 2 or 3 months. Did a ton of maintenance. I'm fairly familiar with these cars. I've had a couple in the past that I dailied, but I've never drifted one, and that's what's kind of exciting. I'm excited to try a new chassis. I'm pretty used to E46s, and that's really all I've ever driven, except I did drive an S13 for the first time this year. That was different, and I really preferred E46 over an S13. Maybe I don't know how to drive, but I couldn't figure it out. But this should be really cool. It's a 2007 335i, 6-speed, so it's got the same trans as the black car. GS6 53BZ. They're pretty stout, so it's cool. 170,000 miles on it, so kind of high mileage, but I think I finished it up early October and got it on the road, got it legal, sold the ZHP, which I was dailying, and just been dailying this. I put about 3,000 miles on it so far, changed the oil, put down pipes on it. I had some sitting around that I got with a package deal. I'll do it's really dirty right now, so let's do a quick rock around. So here it is. I think the color is called Space Gray. Stock wheels, stock suspension, everything. Super dirty. It just snowed for the first day here in Michigan. So, like I said, 6-speed. Let me pop the hood. Been dailying it, so Eleanor's car seat's in the back with her books, which is kind of nice. These things drive so smooth. They're fun to daily, man. And let's pop the hood. Where's the thing? There it is. So stock N54 inlets, or turbo intakes, whatever they're called. Some probably a child blow-off valve, which I'm not really a fan of, but we'll just keep it on there because whatever. I ended up doing a lot of stuff to this: new steering rack, new subframe, new water pump, blah, blah, blah. A ton of work to make it reliable. Had to even pull the rear diff out of it and fix a leak. Here we go. Yeah. These cars are cool. They don't really rust, so you never need to look out for that unless they've had body work, then they rust. Well, there it is, guys. I hope you guys are excited for this car as well. I'm hopefully working with a few companies on it. Seems Legit Garage just developed a pretty much every single alignment link on the car. So they make a front tension rod, front lower control arm. They make rear guide arms, upper control arms, toe and camber arms. They make everything, so we'll more than likely be putting those on the car, and an angle kit, Silver's coilovers, a few other things. And so one of the biggest issues I found with this car is the lack of information there are. You go on YouTube and you look up E46 drift car, E46 drift build. There's like thousands of videos about people drifting these cars. These cars, there's almost nothing. There's like 3 people that have ever made videos. So here I am, like going through James Dean's videos and looking at all the stuff that all these people that built professional ones, but they don't talk about the things they did to them. And there are quite a few in FD and in grassroots, but no one talks about them. They seem to be pretty competitive. My buddy Brendan has one. He likes it a lot. I know a lot of people run Wisefab suspension on them. I'm not going to do that yet. But I just think they haven't been like developed in grassroots. And I always like the E46 and how much development that took to get good. So I think this will be the next step. And on paper, these cars seem fantastic. Twin turbo. They make 300 foot-pounds of torque at like 2,000 RPM, and they rev to $7,000. You have like a 5,000 RPM power band. It kind of reminds me of like an EcoBoost, where they make a ton of torque down low and carry it throughout the power band. So we'll see how that feels. And they make good power really easy. You do a flash tune and downpipes and an intercooler and intakes, and it'll make almost 400 horsepower with the tires. So on paper, it looks fantastic. I know people like Chelsea say that the rear suspension isn't as good as the E46, but good is subjective. You know, a lot of people, these cars apparently have a ton of side bite, which that's how I like to drive. So side bite's good. I like driving with a lot of angle. So hopefully it checks out. Yeah, and probably, 5, 6, 7 years ago, 20-year-old me would be like, wow, I can't believe I'm drifting a 335 or planning on drifting a 335. But I think that's what's pretty cool. These cars have become affordable, and I think they're easy to work on, easy to maintain. So, and motors are still fairly cheap. Like, probably get like $800 to $1,200 you can put a motor in the car. And that's what M54 B30s are getting to be. Not that the black car has one, but M52s, iron box, they're expensive now. So they're like the same price. These cars are the same costs as each other, so it's nuts to me. I'll probably do a handbrake in there. I almost forgot. Seems Legit Garage does an entire dual caliper kit too, so we'll probably run that as well. Probably most people don't need to do dual caliper off the rip, but I really like it. So hopefully you guys are on board for the 2025 season, and just like my upcoming goals, I hope to make it a pretty cool year. And this is the first time I've filmed a video like this, but I want to film more videos over this winter and over next spring and summer and fall, just about what we're doing. And I'm not going to throw parts at this thing until I have a bunch of parts lined up. That way I can make a good video about it. It's not just bits and pieces. So hopefully see you guys along the way. Thank you for watching.